The rain had just stopped when Elena pulled her truck onto the wet highway that morning. She was heading back from a job site where she'd been fixing industrial equipment since dawn. At 42, Elena had worked as a mechanic for 20 years. Her hands were calloused, and her orange work suit was stained with grease. But she wore both with pride. Most people underestimated her because she was a woman in a male-dominated field. She'd proven them wrong 1,000 times. The road ahead was empty, except for one car pulled over on the shoulder. Its hood was up and white smoke was drifting into the gray morning air. Elena could have driven past. She was tired and wanted to get home, but something in her wouldn't allow it. Her father had taught her long ago that you always stop to help. She pulled over and walked toward the stranded vehicle. A man in an expensive navy suit stood beside it looking completely lost. He was probably in his early 30s with perfectly styled hair and polished shoes. Everything about him screamed city office worker. He looked up as she approached, and his expression was a mix of relief and uncertainty. "Car trouble?" Elena asked calmly. "Yes," he said, running his hand through his hair nervously. "It just started smoking and making terrible noises. I have no idea what's wrong. I have an important meeting in the city in 2 hours, and I can't miss it." Elena nodded and walked to the front of the car. She leaned over the engine and immediately spotted the problem. "Your coolant hose has burst," she explained. "The engine overheated. You're lucky you pulled over when you did, or you would have destroyed the whole engine." The man, whose name was Marcus, looked devastated. "Can it be fixed?" he asked desperately. "Not here and not quickly," Elena said honestly. "You need a new hose, and the engine needs to cool down completely." Marcus pulled out his phone and stared at it. "There's no self-service out here," he muttered. "I'm going to miss the most important meeting of my career." Elena watched him for a moment. She could see genuine distress in his eyes. This wasn't just about inconvenience. This mattered to him deeply. "Where's your meeting?" she asked. "Downtown at the Harrison Building," he said. "I'm presenting a business proposal that could save my family's company. We're on the edge of bankruptcy. If I don't make this presentation, we lose everything my grandfather built." Elena was quiet for a moment. Then she made a decision. "I'll drive you," she said simply. Marcus looked startled. "What?" "I'll drive you to your meeting," Elena repeated. "My truck is right there. You can get your car towed later." "I can't ask you to do that," Marcus protested. "You're not asking," Elena said with a small smile. "I'm offering. Come on. You said you have 2 hours. We can make it if we leave now." Marcus hesitated only a second before nodding. 20 minutes later, they were on the highway heading toward the city. The cab of Elena's truck was a stark contrast to Marcus's sleek car. There were tools rattling in the back, and the seats were worn. But it was clean, and it ran perfectly. "I don't even know your name," Marcus said, breaking the comfortable silence. "Elena," she said, "and you're Marcus. I saw on your briefcase." He smiled for the first time. "Thank you, Elena," he said quietly. "You have no idea what this means to me." As they drove, Marcus began to talk. He told her about his grandfather, who had started a small manufacturing company 50 years ago, about how his father had expanded it, but made some risky investments, about how Marcus had taken over 2 years ago and had been fighting to save it ever since. "Everyone expects me to fail," he admitted. "They think I'm too young or too inexperienced. But this company isn't just a business. It's 40 families who depend on us for their livelihoods." Elena listened carefully. She understood pressure and responsibility. "My father used to say that being underestimated is an advantage," she said. "It means you can surprise people." Marcus looked at her thoughtfully. "You sound like you speak from experience." Elena nodded. "I've been fixing machines since I was 16, she said. "People see a woman with grease under her nails, and they make assumptions. but I'm the best mechanic in 3 counties. Not because I had to prove something, but because I love the work. Something shifted in Marcus's expression. You know, he said slowly, our biggest problem at the company is our equipment. It keeps breaking down and repairs are costing us a fortune. We've been through 6 maintenance contractors in 2 years. Elena raised an eyebrow. Sounds like they don't know what they're doing. Or they're overcharging you. Probably both, Marcus admitted. They talked about machinery and maintenance for the rest of the drive. Elena asked questions about his equipment, and Marcus was surprised by how much she knew. When they finally reached the Harrison building, Marcus had 15 minutes to spare. I can't thank you enough, he said, grabbing his briefcase. Wait, Elena said, pulling out a business card from her glove box. If you ever need an honest mechanic, give me a call. Marcus took the card and smiled. I will, he promised. 3 weeks passed. Elena had almost forgotten about the encounter when her phone rang one afternoon. It was Marcus. Elena, he said, and she could hear the excitement in his voice. I got the contract. The meeting went perfectly. That's wonderful, Elena said, genuinely happy for him. But I'm calling for another reason, Marcus continued. I told my board about you, about our conversation. I want to hire you as our head of maintenance. Full-time position with benefits. You'd oversee all our equipment and build your own team. Elena was stunned into silence. I know it's sudden, Marcus said, but I've checked your references. Everyone says you're the best. And after talking to you, I know you understand what we need. Someone who actually cares about the work, not just the paycheck. It took Elena 3 days to make her decision. It meant leaving her independent work and taking a risk. But something about the opportunity felt right. 6 months later, Elena stood in the factory she now managed. The equipment ran smoothly and efficiently. Downtime had decreased by 70%. The company was thriving again. Marcus walked up beside her. You saved us, he said simply. We saved each other, Elena corrected. You just needed someone to stop and help. Marcus smiled. My grandfather used to say that character is revealed in small moments, like stopping to help a stranger on a rainy road. Elena thought about that morning, how close she'd come to driving past, how a simple act of kindness had changed both their lives. Your grandfather was right, she said. Sometimes the most important moments in life look ordinary. A broken down car on a wet highway, a choice to stop when you could keep going, a conversation between strangers. But those moments can change everything. If you're willing to help, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to take a chance on kindness. Did this story touch your heart? Please like and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness creates unexpected opportunities. Subscribe for more uplifting stories, and leave a comment telling us about a time when helping a stranger changed your life. Your story might inspire someone today.